Welcome back to another SEO Q&A. I am joined with Julian. So you're going to get two perspectives when it comes to answering your questions. So you're getting double trouble, double bang for your buck. The man, the myth, the legend, Julian.
It's 2x today.
2x, double ROI. You're not going to get this anywhere else, maybe on Julian's channel actually. But besides the point, let's go to the YouTube questions first. So what I'll do is I will share my screen, make certain that I'm sharing the right screen, close down all the dodgy tabs that I've got open, and let's go. Right, let me know when you can see my screen.
There we go. Oh, that's a dodgy one.
So we have got Matthew Kadra on the most of your podcasts you feature on. You mention you only have free plugins. What are they? Could you do a video on this? So I think I might have said this on your YouTube channel when we first done a podcast. I think you asked me like, how are you scaling out the websites? And one of the biggest things that I found very early on is that plugins get hacked, especially like even Elementor. Elementor's on like I don't know how many millions of websites or how many hundreds of thousands of websites, but it just gets hacked very frequently. So I started coding my own plugins, and it's probably not the answer that Matthew wants. Matthew probably wants like these 6 plugins or these free go-to plugins that I always use. But we've got a custom coded theme that we actually gave to an actual developer. I went back and forth with that developer. So it's a custom coded theme that's not on the actual WordPress repository. And same goes with the actual plugins. One thing that I would say is that we do obviously have, like on other websites, there is a base set of plugins that we use. Like for example, I do use Rank Math. I do like to use redirections, so like for redirecting URLs and stuff like that. What else is there any plugins that you like to use when it comes to certain stuff like that?
Just on that topic, so I remember I was working with Vibath from Autoblogging AI, and he was saying, we were like, we need to do this across our whole website, but we couldn't figure out how to do it. And so he just created a plugin with ChatGPT in like 2 minutes, and it worked straight away. It's crazy how easy that is. So if you haven't tested it, I would check it out. But yeah, just looking through my list of plugins on some of my main sites. So I do have Elementor installed, but it just makes sites look so much better. That's the thing.
Yeah, like for example, I've just searched Elementor hacked, right? 26th of Feb 2024, 6th of December 2023, 17th of October 2023, 18th of May 2023. Like the list goes on and on. 1st of April 2023. Now, don't take that the wrong way, because I really like Elementor. I think that the designs you can achieve using Elementor, they're sick. But you just need to stay on top of like updating it, making certain it's all fine and dandy. And when I was working it, or when I'm working at scale, it's very hard to update something across 600 websites and stuff like that. So it's very much how you want to scale. Like if you're just going to be scaling out 10 websites, then just use the Julian Goldie route. Go and install Elementor with Rank Math and redirections and whatever else, and you won't run into any issues. Whereas if you're trying to scale out a full-blown agency and you're trying to do 250, 300 websites, then you're probably going to want to do a bespoke framework and stuff like that. But my framework is probably overkill for a lot of people. So don't just listen to me and think, right, I need to only install free plugins. I only need to do this. So by the way, the last plugin that I like to use is a tool called Magic Page. And Magic Page, it's kind of like it basically allows you to create a lot of location pages on scale. So you can go down that route. So I'm hoping that's answered your question. Thank you so much, Matthew, for asking that. Then we have got Vid Hayad Harsanar 7278. I've definitely butchered that name, but he has come back with 7 questions. I'm your subscriber from India. I love your videos. Thank you so much. My question is, I'm learning blogging nowadays. How do you find out analysis on a competitor blog? So I don't know about you, Julian, but I like to use Ahrefs Content Gap. What's your go-to way of finding blog articles for something like that?
Yeah, I like to use Ahrefs as well, and I'll just plug in the site of my competitor into the Site Explorer and just have a look through the site and go, right, okay, what's the keywords like? What sort of stuff are they ranking for? What's the keyword strategy like? You can even figure out like what sort of topical clusters they're trying to rank for, and additionally, where have they got their backlinks from too? Because it's one of the best telltale signs of a site is, you know, what sort of backlinks are they building and what's their DR at?
Yeah,
Can you
for sure.
realistically compete or not?
So that's a really good strategy, and I will show that in just a second. But you've obviously got like the content gap, so you can plug in your own personal website at the top, and then you can go down the list. So I've just searched Lawyers London, and I'm just going down the list of the top ranking websites. What I also like to do is, like, for example, I don't know if you do this, but bestlawyers.com, that's kind of like a directory website, so I don't actually include that when I'm doing a content gap. Is that something that you also do as well?
Yeah, I'm only going to look at sites that are like mine, very similar in terms of the style, the content, the niche, etc.
Yeah, so I think that's probably like the go-to way of finding blogs. So, for example, I've just searched, the website that I've given it is casuallaw.com. It's not a website, I've just made it up. But, for example, no win, no fee solicitors, car accident attorney, corporate lawyer, auto accident attorney, labour VAT, private schools. All of these articles, I can start producing content on my website to do with those articles. So that has answered your first question. Which writing tone do you use? How do you compare writing tone, Julian? Like how do you is it something that you just manually look at and you're like, right, these guys have a professional writing tone? First of all, do you think that it's important? Second of all, how do you analyze it?
Yeah, I mean, it depends how granular you want to go on that site. So, for example, we were talking about it before, but the brand and the tonality of the brand should match in terms of the content created, right? So we were talking about lawyers before. If you want to be taken seriously, then obviously you want a very professional tone because it's a pretty serious subject matter. If you're writing, say, like the birds niche or something like that, the tone can be a lot more lighthearted. So I guess it depends. You know, start with your brand, start with your audience, and then reverse engineer from there.
Right, so we're back in the game. So I'm hoping that has answered your question on the writing tone. Which type of voices? So I think that's pretty much the same. Do you use Grammarly at all? Out of curiosity, Julian.
Occasionally, it's pretty good. I think editors tend to use it more because it's really good for editing and spotting grammar problems.
Right. Okay. So even after like producing an AI content article, you could definitely use Grammarly. Is that kind of the way that you're structuring your content? Would you say?
Yeah, it's great for editing.
Right. Okay. How to cross-check grammar aspects of his blog? I don't think that this is something that you should be worrying about. If I'm honest, do you worry about the grammar check of your competitors' websites?
No, but if you want to answer that question, then it would be probably Hemingway or Grammarly again.
Yeah. Also, Sitebulb does it as well. Sitebulb, you can grammar check websites, but again, like, I wouldn't worry about anything like that. How many tenses he uses in his blog? What is that? Do you know what that means? Tenses.
Like past and present and future and that sort of thing.
Is that something that you're looking at when it comes to writing content? No?
Yeah, typically it's just kind of like conversational, right? So I guess it's present. Like, here's what you want to do, here's how you do it, etc. But I think I don't tend to find that being a problem with any sort of content writing tools or content writers that I've come across.
If I'm being 100% honest, the person, because obviously that this guy, he is just starting out in blogging, right? So there's probably a lot of things that he's thinking about and worrying about, and he probably shouldn't need to worry about, because like, for example, when you're in university, they tell you that, oh, you should write this way, you should write in this specific manner and stuff like that. You should worry about the tonality, you should worry about this, that. With SEO content writing, it's very, very different to like writing for a university, for example. Do you think that, would you agree with me on that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, if I look at the way that I write essays, if a writer came to me with one of those essays and said, put this on the website, mate, I'd be like, no.
Yeah, definitely. So which grad using writing time? Which grade using writing time? I'm not certain on that. Do you know anything on that?
I'm not sure whether they're asking like which grade, or maybe there's a tool called Writing Time, but I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah. How to find his artist's LSI keyboard? I'm not certain on that.
Keywords.
NLP.
I assume that's like LSI keywords, maybe.
LSI. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I think that Google Bard and ChatGPT does a very good job of that. You can literally just copy your entire competitor's article and say, this article ranks for, I don't know, how to find a divorce attorney. Paste in the article and say to it, extract the LSIs, and it will do a really good job of that. And again, you can do the exact same thing for NLPs as well. So LSIs and NLP entities, and then you can incorporate those in your actual article. What Chrome extensions are you using? Is there any good SEO Chrome extensions that you use, Julian?
Probably the one that I use every day almost is WordCounter Plus.
WordCounter Plus?
Yeah, it's just good for checking out word counts, that sort of thing, and not just for SEO, but also like if you're posting on social, like you want to figure out okay, what's the right character count, what's the right word count. It's pretty useful. Free plugin.
That's quite good.
Easily access it. Yeah.
WordCounter Plus.
But even, for example, the LSIs or the keyword density and that sort of thing, like you can create your own free plugin with ChatGPT and then upload it to your Chrome extensions, and then you can analyze your competitors on page or that sort of thing. Yeah,
so I done a free Chrome extension using what you've just said for the April Fool's video, the rank above the Google logo or whatever I done, and that was all built with ChatGPT. It probably took me about 10-15 minutes to code that from start to finish. So you can definitely go down that strategy of, like, if you don't want to pay for a tool, I'm going to assume that because you're starting out, you might not want to pay for some of the premium tools. So you could definitely go down that route of coding your own extensions, and it'll take you a couple hours maybe to code something that works very well. But I think that's the go-to strategy. Another question that we actually have, and this is more so for local businesses, is do you do much GMB work, Julian, or do you know much about GMBs?
Not really. We do link building for clients ranking with GMBs, but we don't interact with the GMBs ourselves. So
I think you'll still be able to chime in, because you've kind of hit the nail on the head with one of the answers. But one of the questions that we actually got over on Twitter was, how do you rank higher for Google Business Profiles? So I'll use, let's say, for example, dentists. Give me a town in America, Julian.
South Florida.
I just put you on the spot there.
Carolina, just put Carolina, maybe something like that.
Carolina, is
That
that
might be a state. Yeah,
that's a state, mate. We'll do.
Montgomery.
We'll do. We'll
Showing my
do.
ignorance here.
Yeah. We'll do
If you'd
Orange
asked me
County.
UK, I would have been good to go.
So, for example, one of the common questions that I get asked is, I'm a dental clinic. I want to rank higher in Google Business Profiles, right? Let's take a look at somebody that is just nowhere to be seen, right? If we were to take a look at OC Life Smiles, right? Now, one thing that you can definitely do is the link building side of stuff. So, for example, if you're trying to rank your Google Business Profile higher, how well your website ranks is definitely a deciding factor, and how many mentions your website has is definitely a deciding factor as well. So, for example, these guys, even though they are doing a lot of things right, like they've got 170 reviews and they're 5 stars, all of them, right? So they're doing a really good job here, right? But they're just not getting enough time and day on their link building side of stuff. So what I would be looking to do is, in some cases, just do some citations, get some actual branded links going through to your homepage, and you will see a good ranking increase for your brand. Like, for example, if we were to take a look at Orange County Dental Care, again, they've got less reviews, but their actual GMB ranks a lot higher. And if we were to take a look, and if we were to compare side by side as to why they're not ranking, so actually they are. Actually, that's an exact match domain. So let's take a look at these guys. Exact match domains kind of have like an umbrella, I like to say, over them. So they've just got a lot more referring domains and a lot more backlinks, these guys, pointing through to their website. And again, in some cases, might not be the amount of backlinks, but they might just have a stronger backlink profile. So to answer what Julian was saying, building backlinks through to the homepage can definitely help. Getting more NAP listings definitely helps. So getting your business name and your business address listed can help. And again, the products as well. So they are actually taking care of a lot of their product section. Let's see if they are actually listing any services as well. So they're listing services and also products, it looks like. And they've also filled out their categories as well. And another added tip as well is if you can start replying to reviews, that helps as well. Is there anything else that you do or that you would recommend for business profile rankings?
I'm not an expert at it. I don't want to BS anyone here.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's totally fine. To be honest, I think that there's a lot of things that we've just mentioned, like when it comes to the business profile rankings, like just go and get a load more links. Fill out the overview. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, one tip is just embedding the GMB on the website.
That is something that's very much not looked at all. Like both these websites don't do it. Let's take a look at these guys. Do these guys do it? So they've got the actual address listed. They've got a link going back to the actual website, to the Google Business. Yeah, both these businesses, they don't actually do it. I've heard a lot of people say that it works. That's one thing that we actually, it's one of the first things that we do. We embed the actual Google Business Profile onto the actual website. And also another added tip as well is getting your opening hours listed on your website as well. That helps as well. So that has been all of our questions answered. I'm hoping that's answered everybody. I think that's everybody from the YouTube side of stuff, and that's also everybody from the Twitter side of stuff. But thanks so much for joining me, Julian.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And if you guys do want a free 15-minute consultation with myself, make sure to check out casualdash.com or the link in the description. Thanks.
Thanks.